Derealization. Be more specific. Hey, snaps on Petra. You said, have any tips for experiencing derealization? Be a little bit more specific, and I'll see what I can help you out there. Can you give me an example? Hmm. By the way, thank you everybody who popped in. Just a little bit of piano before it's time to go to the gym. And yeah, thanks everybody for the thumbs up. Oh, yeah. So snaps. So let me ask you this. Are you getting anxiety? Like, does some things give you anxiety, brother? Okay, yeah, for sure. Um, do you mind if I ask how old you are? Just so I can get a kind of like a reference of your age. Because if you're younger or older, like me, I'm 38. I'm 38 years old, right? So I'm a little bit older. So what category? Oh, so okay, so you're born the same years. Yeah. Well, anxiety is one of those things that affects a lot of people. I myself have gotten anxiety in the past, but I don't get anxiety anymore. So I have broken through that. Um, well, the first thing is what triggers the anxiety, right? Can you think about without getting anxious, like what makes you get anxiety? In my experience, a lot of people get anxiety when they sit down and they think about certain things. Like maybe they're thinking about could be a lot of things, thinking about something that didn't go right, something about the future, bills. Do you find yourself let me make sure you can hear me okay. Hey, hey Petra, do you find yourself getting anxiety? Do you find yourself getting anxiety when like how do I say this? When you're sitting around, or do you also get anxiety when you're moving? Because there's a reason I'm asking that. If you can answer that, we'll move on. You know what I mean? Oh no, nowhere. Yeah. Petra, you know what an existential crisis is? You ever heard of that? By the way, anybody that's in the chat, guys, my name is Coach Chris. Music therapy here is just you guys come in, talk about some things. Listen, okay. So I think with you, Pedro, my opinion. Hey, anybody that's in the chat, feel free to tap in here, type. But I'm going to make this clear. My music therapy sessions are meant to be a good environment where people can come in and share thoughts. This is a safe place. And if anybody's rude, I will kick your butt out. But I also want you guys to be able to talk about things amongst yourself. And when you see me go live, look, I'm a veteran and I love my country. I love all of you guys that come in here. You know, this is a safe spot to talk and chat. I'm not going to judge you. I may laugh about something or cut a joke, but this is a safe place to talk. Okay. I want you guys to know that. All right. Again, I'm Coach Chris. I coach people for a living. I do music therapy sessions. I'm an entrepreneur. I know firsthand, Petra, I know firsthand what it's like to have the world feel like it's crashing down on you. For example, I've had 9 deaths in my family in the last 2 years. 70% of my family has died in the last 5 years. I've gone through a divorce. I fought in war. I had a 15-year-old mother. I was very angry for a long time. So I can definitely show you what I did. Okay. Here's what I'm asking you, Pedro. Let me ask you this and give me a thumbs up and just let me guys know that you can hear me okay. Because my internet connection sometimes goes in and out. I just want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. Pedro, what is the one thing that makes you more happy than anything in the world? That's the first thing you need to figure out. Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay. So, what's the one thing that makes you happy in this world? Anybody who came into the chat, shout out. Hope everyone's having a good day. I'm going to go get me some more coffee as we're talking. So I'm going to talk to Petro here. I'm going to call you Snaps. Okay, Snaps. What's the thing that makes you more happy than anything in the world? You got to figure that out. Step one. You want to get through anxiety? This is how you do it. Okay. Enjoying time with your family? Cool. That's great. And you have chickens. Very cool. So you have responsibility, right? When you are anxious, okay, or you feel like, oh my God, if you feel anxious in your head, the first thing I recommend is breathing. So you just, then you think about those things you just mentioned. You said your family, right? Well, I guarantee you your family loves you. So you have people in your life that love you. So when you're anxious and you feel anxiety, the, when you start getting anxious, you have oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin chemicals in your head. That's the same chemicals that a female, if you ever dated a girl, if she likes to be around you and then you push her away, when she runs back to you and you accept her, there's 3 chemicals that get released in her head. I think it's oxytocin and serotonin and dopamine. The ratio of those chemicals make us have an emotional context. That's what affects how we feel. So when you get anxiety, that's usually cortisol spiking. Okay. Give me some thumbs up if you're in the chat, guys, giving you some good information here. Okay. Now, you have to, when you feel that stress and that anxiety, that is your mind being pulled out of a state where those good chemicals are being released. And the cortisol and the stress hormones, those begin to increase. That's not what you want to happen. Are you following me so far, Mr. Snap? Is that making sense so far? Gotta put some water in here. So now that's an important topic, man. That chemical that gets released in your brain, it will drive you crazy. That's what causes anxiety. So when you feel that anxiety start to go and come in, if you sit or you think or you just think, it's going to rot your brain and your body is going to go where your brain is thinking. So the first thing is whatever thoughts are coming in your mind that are negative or pulling you down, you have got to do box breathing. I'm going to they taught me this when I was in the Navy, okay? Okay. So imagine that I'm breathing. Look at my finger. I'm going to take a big breath in. Hold. Release. Hold. Big breath in. I'm drawing a box with 4 corners. You breathe in to the first corner. Hold to the next corner. Hold. Release. Hold. Breath in. There's something in science called heart math. When I was younger, I had extreme anxiety. Guys, it took me a long time to get over my anxiety. ADHD, I'm slightly autistic, supposedly, and now I'm an entrepreneur. I have a beautiful house. I've got yard over here. I'll show you my yard, right? All this beautiful stuff. I didn't get to where I am today by accident. It was a lot of work. I went to therapy, I studied, and I'll share this stuff with you guys. All I ask is that the information I give you here, listen, just give me some thumbs ups and some likes and help me share with other people. Um, the diddler. Hey, what's up, diddler? I'm talking to Mr. Snaps over here. So, yeah, we're going over a few things about anxiety right now, kind of ways to deal with anxiety. I think that's something that as human beings, I think a lot of us struggle with anxiety. Yes, snaps, use that. It's called box breathing. I was a soldier in Afghanistan from 2010 to 2015. So let me tell you, when I'm downrange and I have my rifle, you can imagine, just imagine this. I'm downrange with my rifle and my gear, and I'm in a combat zone, and I have to walk with a rifle everywhere that I go. You can imagine there's some anxiety there. You know, you have your weapon, you're on a team, there's a war outside of this giant fence. You have to go outside, people are being shot at. So it's like when I was in that situation, sometimes I just would have these thoughts come in my mind and it would be like, you're going to get shot, or, you know, somebody died last week. And what I'm getting at is I could let those thoughts drive me crazy, or I could sit back and I could go, okay, let me breathe. Box breathing. Big breath in, hold, out, deep breaths. Really get that diaphragm. That diaphragm is going to control your oxytocin, your dopamine, your serotonin. Okay. Big breath. If you play sports, if you're an athlete, okay, if you're an athlete and you're in an event, think Stephen Curry, greatest shooter to ever live, arguably. He talks about his breathing. Think about Michael Jordan, tunnel vision. The key is to take this sucker right here, not this clean fade, by the way, just playing, not a clean fade, but take that brain and learn to master it. Now, here's the trick. How do you learn to master your thoughts, and how do you learn to do that and prepare so when anxiety does start to kind of creep in, how do you do it during that? Here's a key. You need to go to the gym or do push-ups and calisthenics. You need to find something physical that exhausts your body to where you feel like you can't do anymore, and use your breathing to stay calm and push through something that's physically exhausting. That's one method. For example, I'm going to go to the gym later. Today, ooh, that's my coffee. Got to get me some caffeine in. On that note, limit your caffeine consumption to pre and post workout. Don't drink, if you have anxiety and then you drink energy drinks or you drink a lot of bad caffeine, that will make anxiety get worse. Trust me on that. Anxiety can get worse if you take in a lot of caffeine. So if you're going to drink a soda or something, try to get like a diet Sprite so you can still taste something yummy but reduce caffeine. Caffeine can really help you, but it can also reduce it. It can also make anxiety not so good as well. Now, let's see. Well, I wouldn't say zero caffeine because caffeine is good. It is a stimulant. I'm a personal trainer. One of my hobbies, I train people and I train athletes. I'll tell you right now, if someone's having a bad day and their energy is like, oh, Chris, I don't feel like working out today. I've got the kids and all this. I'm like, okay, let's take a little bit of caffeine, get some coffee, and then it jump starts them. In that sense, yes. But you have to remember that's not something you want to do all the time because too much caffeine can increase cortisol. Now, caffeine from green tea and good coffee affect the body differently than the caffeine from like synthetic energy drinks. So it's just one of those things, pick your poison, you know. Now, let me ask you this, Snaps. Are you in school or what do you do for work, if you don't mind me asking? Okay. What do you do for work? Get this camera up. I'm going to grab my coffee, guys. I am here, guys. Just grabbing my coffee real quick. Shout out to anyone that's in the chat. I appreciate every one of you, and I'm coming right back. Here we go. All right. All right. And we are back. The sun's a little bit right there. You paint house, but I'm almost full-time on raise. Oh, there you go. So you're almost full-time in raising chickens. Okay. So painting houses is great. You know, that's a great job because there's always someone that needs you to paint. Everyone's always looking for a painter they can trust and cleans up their mess. Very cool. You know, with your chickens, I would spend as much time as I could with my chickens and my family because I think when you're around, I truly believe when we're around living creatures like dogs, cows, horses, chickens, you know your chickens love you. They depend on you. I guarantee you, if you're in a bad mood and you take some feed out to your chickens, because I used to have chickens, I grew up on a farm. Them chickens are going to, and they're going to love you to death. You need to surround yourself with those chickens and also with your family, and that's going to encourage you, and it will give you some of those feel good. It'll give you some of those feel good hormones. You know what I'm saying? So that's extremely important. Now, here's something else that I think helps with anxiety. Okay. Are you literate? And I know that's silly, but the average college student in America has a third grade reading uh, literacy. I read that statistic the other day. The average American in college only has a third grade literacy in reading, which means they're doing chat GPT to do all their assignments. They're watching videos and they don't read as much anymore. I believe that if you read more often, and when I say read, I mean find stuff that's generally interested into you, that you're interested in, and learn. See, beautiful. I tell you what, Pedro, I'm going to make a conclusion right here. You tell me that you know what give me a yes or a no on this. You know what an existential crisis is, right? I think you said that earlier, but just give me a verification here. An existential crisis, you know what that is, right? Yep. Since you read, right, and you're outside of your chickens, I bet that you're intelligent. I bet you are. Because in my experience, ignorance is bliss. Anybody that's in the page, thumbs up if if you like that, but it's ignorance is bliss, okay? It is what it is. Ignorance is bliss. The happiest people you know in your life who don't think about anything other than what they did that day or sports or something, those people are typically very happy because they don't think deeper on certain parts of life. Think about Marcus Aurelius, think about Friedrich Nietzsche. Me and Friedrich Nietzsche were born on the same day, October 15th. Interesting fact. Shinzu, Art of War, I mentioned Marcus Aurelius, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Nikola Tesla, Einstein, Mozart, Beethoven. All of these individuals who had higher IQ typically reach a point in their life where they see that the world around you is kind of a simulation. Laws are put into place to try to control people. We're put into this system. 1984, Big Brother's watching. And I'm going to bet that because you're an intelligent individual, you have the aptitude. Yeah. Um, yeah. So she doesn't care. And here's the thing, she's never going to care. Welcome to reality. Your wife is probably happy and she's never going to care about those things. Now, this is maybe going to cause you to be lonely. It is what it is, brother. So, intelligent people typically, yeah, hey, brother. Yoda, what's up, Yoda? Hey, Yoda, thanks for the subscribing, man. We're doing some music therapy here. I got done playing piano. Thank you so much. Just to remind everybody, I'm talking to Snaps here. Me and him are kind of born around the same time. We're probably older than a few of you guys on here, but that's no big deal. We're talking about anxiety and how people get anxiety and ways to deal with it. And I'm bringing some of my experience as someone who used to coach people in the Navy for 7 years. Lots of young men and women used to come through my program, and my job was to basically not tear them apart, but break them down mentally, push them to their threshold, turn them into nothing essentially, and then rebuild them with an unshakable sense of confidence through work ethic and um, fortuitous, right? What do we got here? We have a message here. Oh my goodness. Kendrick. Hey, uh, Mr. Kevin. Okay. I have to hide that comment because of the algorithm. But uh, I will not disagree. Yeah, Yoda. Oh, see, I was 87. So that's what's up. Kevin, I had to not display your message because my content is meant for all viewership from young, middle to old. But I will tell you this, Mr. Kevin, that was a funny comment, and I don't disagree. I just can't let you put that in the chat because they won't let me upload this video if you say words like that. But Mr. Kevin said, uh, sometimes, uh, here's the thing. If you're a man, let me tell you one of the best ways, and thank you for that, yo. Let me tell you one of the best ways to get through anxiety. Okay. There's lots of ways to do it. But I do believe going to the gym, it doesn't have to be the gym. It could be working outside, it could be push ups and pull ups. Man, go get you an axe. One of my favorite things that I do outside sometimes, I'll take an axe and I'll just go out in the woods and go chop down a tree and I'll use that for firewood. I ain't just, I'm not just gonna chop down a tree for no reason. It's a tree. Although, fun fact, wood is more rare in the universe than diamond, apparently, and it's a renewable energy source. But I find if I have my mind kind of going crazy, I use my box breathing, I'll read, I'll play music, be creative. You got to take that energy and like a few things are going to happen. That energy will get in your mind, and you may think, oh my God, that didn't work out. I made a mistake. Oh, my girlfriend left me. My dog died. Oh, I got divorced. Oh, blah, blah, blah. If you stay in that frame of mind, bad stuff will happen. But if you go do something creative, play guitar, play piano, right? Something like that. Play, or you do something physical, that anxiety will go away. Okay. Um, by the way, Yoda, I do appreciate the subscription and the subscribing. Um, Feel free to ask a question in here. I've been talking to Snaps, aka Mr. Petro here. And yeah, ask away, guys. You know, I try not to talk about myself too much because I do have a little bit of an ego. I think that's something we all have. I'd prefer if you guys have questions, y'all just ask me questions and I'll do my best to answer. You know, like everybody, I also like to talk about myself, but I don't want to come on here and be like narcissistic and say, "Oh, I did this and did that," because I am proud of what I accomplished in my life. You got to think. I had a mom that was 15 years old, right? I grew up with a single mother. I didn't exactly have a strong father figure around, which is really tough. I didn't learn a lot of things that most men are doing when they're young, like working on cars and trucks and stuff with their dad. So, for me, it was a really tough time growing up. I didn't have that positive male role model. And I'm telling you guys, if you have kids, please, for the sake of God, teach them certain things about being useful. Be useful. Learn how to, you tell me to go work on a truck or go build something. I'm not really good at that. I can learn and I can do it, but because I make okay money now, I usually pay someone to do that stuff for me. I'm thankful that I have the money to do that, but I really would have preferred to learn how to do some of that stuff myself because those are useful skills. So, you know, try to be useful in whatever you can. So, yeah, man. So we've been in here for 36 minutes. Um, I do have to go probably here in a little bit. Let's see. No, go ahead. I relate. Didn't want to go into family losses, messed up childhood. You have PTSD. I was shot a few years ago, gave up the street life. Oh, well, dang, dude. Listen, hey, you know, I know how to get 15-0 on Food Champs. Voltage, welcome to the chat. I don't know what Food Champs is, but right on. That's cool. Yeah, look at that comment from Snaps, man. And again, just everybody, this is a safe area to kind of just talk about things in life, right? This is a therapy session, right? Yeah, exactly. I'm giving props to Snaps too, because listen, you know, family losses, you know, you got shot. I'm sure you have PTSD, you know, serving in the Navy and being overseas in a war zone. I've got PTSD too. But fun fact, I had PTSD from childhood trauma before I ever went into the military. So I can relate to you, Snaps, 100%. And here's the thing. Here's what's cool, and here's how you are motivating me. The fact, yeah. So the very fact that you gave up that street life, and let's be honest, I know what the street life is. Yeah, you're amongst friends, Voltage. Voltage, man, you amongst friends, man. This is a safe environment where you can kind of just look. All you guys that come in here, like, subscribe. Y'all also like and subscribe each other's channels. And this is a spot just to come live and talk and, have some authenticity. We live in a world where it's so fake. People are out pretending to be one thing, lying. And that's not what this channel is about. I've been making videos for over 11 years. And I know I'm not the best editor, but when I go live and I talk to people like you guys, I continue to do it because you guys literally motivate me. Having a story, just that Snap said, imagine choosing to give up a street life, which I know it's on the street. There's prostitutes on the street, there's drugs, there's gang banging, there's all sorts of stuff. There's different cultures, you know. Hablo un poquito español, mucho dinero, y all the guys chase Pinocha and all that stuff. I know. I used to run with gangs too. I get it. It's not good. But the very fact that Snaps gave that up and decided to start a family, get some chickens, it takes a strong man to be able to say, this is what I'm going to do. And kudos to you, man. That's what it's about, guys. You know, and who knows in the future, man, you could write a book on some of that stuff, you know. Um well, Voltage, you said you got PTSD, man. I'm not going to necessarily pry, but a lot of people that come in my chat, a lot of them have childhood trauma or they served overseas. A lot of times I get some young kids in here sometimes too. Sometimes the younger kids come in like 8 to 10 years old and we'll play some music over there. But yeah, if you want to express or, get some good energy, man, feel free to share down here. I'm going to be live for probably I've been on for 40 minutes. I got to go to the gym and I'm going to train some clients and I'm studying for an exam, starting a new business here soon. So, do have to get some stuff done, but I like to try to stay in shape. Um, yeah, if you have PTSD, feel free to share. Do you feel like you got over it, Voltage? Do you feel like you're in a spot to where you're getting through it? Do you feel like it's hindering you? Like, do you have anything to share with the few people online? Oh, your upcoming Kenneth. Yeah, I don't care about that appointment. Go away. Let's see. Everyone has their problems that they have to power through. Facts. Some things that happened in my childhood were very dark and bleak. I've grown from it. I've become the man I am today. Well said, Voltage. Our past does not define our future. Our present does not our present is not defined by our past. And think about this. Very good for you, Voltage. And I bet you what, the people that have I heard a preacher say this one time because I'm kind of into philosophy and theology. A lot of good wisdom in ancient texts. Okay. One time I was hearing a speaker and they were talking about when God wants to, if it was the music that caught, but immediately saw a guy with scars, but I could see you perfect. Oh, thanks, man. Elsa, hey, welcome to the channel. Absolutely. I agree. Uh, you do not have to be in. I had PTSD from child trauma before I even went to war. So I agree 100% with you, Elsa. Oh, snaps, man. I appreciate that. You know, I do try to play some music and I do try to play peaceful music. But after I usually play piano for about 15, 20 minutes. Then I come over here and I talk with you guys. But yeah, I'll definitely be playing some piano again. I can go play a little bit now if you guys wanted, but I'm really enjoying the conversation. It's a lot easier to have a conversation when I'm not playing than when I am playing because you guys motivate me. Nothing motivates me more than a man or a woman or whatever's in between these days. Sorry, YouTube algorithm. But someone that's come through perseverance, someone who's pushed through their barrier. We have so many self imposed limitations as human beings. And the best thing that we can do is to push through those barriers and become the best versions of ourselves. Voltage had a great message up here. Miss Elsa, I don't know if I see you came into the chat. Voltage and Snaps were both showing some examples of how they became stronger versions of themselves. And also earlier, we were talking about anxiety, and I don't think you were in the chat, but if anybody here, including you, Voltage, suffers from anxiety, one of the things that I try to share with people that helped me was, do something creative, be physical, but also box breathing. Okay, I have a finger here, right? And I'm gonna go up and down like a box. And when you breathe in a certain way, you can calm your heartbeat down. Hey, Star, it's a box breathing. Yeah, voltage. I know so many. Listen, I read a statistic the other day because I'm kind of a nerd. I believe that I believe 60 to 70% of Americans suffer from anxiety, right? So it's something that's very real in the world. Ignorance is bliss. We were talking about this earlier, and I'm going to get the box breathing, right? Breathe. Elsa, thank you for the hearts. Yeah, it's box breathing. So look at my finger and watch what I do. I'm just drawing a box, right? When anxiety hits in and and you feel like the world's crashing, the heart rate begins to increase. The increasing of the heart rate directly affects the chemicals that are being produced in your brain. Well, oh man, well, listen, if you're around people that you don't enjoy, one of the best things, you may be kind of like an empath. You may be someone who's very, when you are intelligent or have a high emotional IQ, you can see through the BS that people have. And when you're in those uncomfortable environments, the best thing you can do is leave. If you're in a work situation where you can't leave, then the best thing you can do is learn to control your mind. Now, use box breathing. You have serotonin, dopamine, and I think oxytocin or oxycontin. It's not oxycontin, that's a drug, but it's like serotonin, dopamine, and I want to say it's oxytocin. It's the chemicals, right, that are released based on your breathing. Perfect example, if a guy and girl are dating and you see this, you see a guy who's kind of rebellious and pushes a woman away. When the woman chases a man and gets confirmation and feels happy, all three of those chemicals get released in the head, and that gives her a sense of euphoria. Now, science has shown this. So here's how you can regulate your own chemical hormone fat. Your brain's releasing all these chemicals and they make hormones. So, yeah, it's you can look about it. It's kind of interesting. It's that feeling of emotion where if you've read the 48 laws of power or you study any biochemistry, when I was younger, sadly, before I became a man and grew up, I used to use that. I'd be in a relationship, I'd push someone who liked me away, I'd force them to be rejected. They would come back, they would get a flux of hormones, and then good things would happen for me. Now, am I proud of that? Absolutely not. It's despicable, it's manipulative, and it's terrible. But I grew up in an environment where I saw people do that, and I was kind of a science nerd. It is what it is. So now I don't recommend anybody doing that. And especially any young women who don't understand biochemistry, you now know what someone will do to you. Those people are not your friends. Those people are sociopaths. Do not stay in long term relationships with those people. You either figure out the hard way or the easy way. Now, box breathing. Watch what I do, okay? Here's my finger. I'm going to draw a box. Now I start by breathing. Big breath in. When I say breath, think about your diaphragm. Big open breaths. So I would recommend box breathing for 3 to 5 minutes. Okay. The deeper you can inhale, hold for 3 to 5 seconds. The key is to get big inhales, hold, big exhales, hold. So watch this. Big breath in, hold, release, hold. Big breath in, like as deep as you can go. Hold, release, get all the air out. Oh, whew. It's a little bit tough to do that and talk at the same time, I'm not gonna lie. But zone out, get calm, and just think about big inhale, you hold. See, you're filling your air up. You're filling your body with air with the diaphragm, then you're holding that air, then you're releasing all the air out, but then you're also holding with all the air out. And it's kind of going to create like a pressure system in your body, and that's going to regulate your hormones. And if you have a pen and paper, you can look up this term. It's called heart math. HeartMath. Heart math. Heart math is a way to regulate your breathing to where you are more coherent in what you absorb. You are going to have better situational awareness, and you're going to be able to see the environment through an unbiased lens. Hey, Lori Weekly, hello, welcome to the chat. Music therapy. We're done with the music for now. Um, Piano's right over there. But welcome to the chat. I appreciate everybody who comes in. I was just giving some advice on box breathing, which helps with anxiety. Anybody who gives a thumbs up, feel free to give me a thumbs up. So far, my record is 10 thumbs ups in a video. We're at 5 right now. Always striving to be better. So if you guys can help me get 10 thumbs ups, that's cool. Thank you for the hearts. Heart right back to you. And yeah, all I ask is that anybody who makes a comment in here, just be respectful. I don't care if you talk about things. Thanks, Brendan. Heart back to you. Mwah. Okay, remember, true strength comes from love. Okay. It's very good to be strong. You want to be masculine, but you also have to be a protector. Thumbs up, Weekly. I appreciate you. And yeah, two things. Anybody that's in this chat, we have a lot of people from Voltage. We have Snaps. We have people who have talked about PTSD. We had Lori who was in here, who I think mentioned earlier. It was Elsa. Yeah, you don't have to be in the military to have PTSD, right? Trauma comes at all stages of life. And I've counseled a lot of people in my life because I'm a mentor, I'm an entrepreneur. I can't tell you how many young men and women. Remember, I'm a little bit older. I was born in 87. So I work with kids that are anywhere from 16 years old all the way up to adults that are in their 60s. And some of the stories that people tell me, everything from being, incest from uncles when they're younger to being beaten for unreasonable, people being ostracized for opinions. Look, yeah, PTSD, it's, look, everybody gets affected by it. And, if you want to go somewhere and pay for a counselor, you should do that because counseling's great. But I try to offer a safe environment where, I was in counseling for years, especially when I got out of the Navy. If you've never served overseas, or had any trauma in your life, well, I'm proud for you. I'm so happy for you. But if you have a certain level of IQ and you study and you're not ignorant, because we all know ignorance is bliss, the happiest people that you know are usually the people who don't care to learn. The more you learn and the more you educate yourself, the higher chance you have of reaching an existential crisis. Look, I'm not saying that it's good or bad, but if you've lived on earth long enough, listen, if you want to be the happiest person in the world, sit down and watch TV all day and live your life and don't educate yourself. You'll be so happy and go on with your life. But for those, oh, there you go, 56. Well, thank you. Laurie, I appreciate you. Um, Thank you for the thumbs ups. And yeah, you're the elder here. And I say that because I, so I go to a Presbyterian church from time to time, and I don't judge people on any form of religion or anything. That's between you and God, right? Not me. But in the Presbyterian church and in that social structure, we always admire our elders because our elders, no matter which way you slice it, have been on earth longer than us. Now, that doesn't mean that they're wiser in some things, but they're still alive and they've probably seen more about the world from realistic and anecdotal perspective. And we always admire that. So, anything that you, Lori, would like to talk about that helped you, and maybe if you have overcome anxiety, you know, my brother and I can't tell you how thankful I am for taking your time going over techniques that have worked for you. You and others of sub guys like you are ordained. Oh man, hey man, I appreciate that. I care, man. That makes me feel good, Snap. Like all I ask, man, the only thing I ask in return, thumbs ups obviously, but no, when, not if, but when you find someone else in your life that needs that information, just pass it on. It's like the old country song. Don't let the chain of love end with you. We all live in this world, man. The butterfly effect. We're all interconnected. You know, give a campfire story if you're cool with it. Hey, Brendan, I have about 4 minutes and a campfire story. I don't know if I could give a good one in 4 minutes, but I will do that next time if you want. But remember, this is more about the people coming in more than it is about me and my stories. It's about y'all. But thanks for your comment, Brendan. And Lori, you're very welcome as well. Um, you know, I try to come on 3 to 4 times a week. Um, I'm an entrepreneur. I do business meetings and I train people at the gym and I sell insurance and stuff. So it's like my schedule fluctuates. But here lately, I've been going live and just talking to people. Oh, it's all good, man. Listen, Brendan, I would love to do that. It's just not really the topic for this video. Um, my goal is to create this community. Yes. Hey, snaps. Very good. Yeah. Oh, the box breathing technique, in case anyone came in later, it's something I learned when I went to war for Operation Enduring Freedom, which was from like 2010 to 2016 was my time. When I left and got home, I had to go through therapy because they had to make sure the people that come back are mentally stable. So it's just everybody has to go through that. It's a decompression phase. And they taught us about box breathing. I used to go to events where PhDs and doctors would talk about the ulnar nerve, which is right here, which connects to your stomach. If you have anxiety and you take your thumb and you push on this nerve also has a way of relaxing you too. We didn't get into that today, but there's a lot of techniques. And the fact that you used it, you saw the benefit, cool. Hey, thanks, Lori. Look, I want you to feel comfortable. I mean, I'm a little rough around the edges. I used to cuss a lot. I grew up really rough, but at the end of the day, I've worked on myself to try to be comfortable with an audience because, listen, the world is in a state right now to where I'm concerned with the future of our country. And thank you so much. I appreciate every person who subbed. I'm really concerned with the future for my country because I see what could be potentially described as a socialist and a fascist regime permeating into our country. And I see the young men and women are not, there's a lot of great young men and women who are doing great. But our youth basis seems to be divided. And if you look at Karl Marx, And I've died. Wow, you've died 3 times? Holy moly. Are you flipping my flapjacks? That's crazy. I'm glad you're still here. Um, wow. I do have to go here in about 35 seconds, in about a minute. Next time I'm on, I'd like for you to talk about that because I'm always curious to talk to people. Um, get a PO box and you'll send me eggs every week. I do love eggs. Um, Guys, I've had a great time. I've been on for about an hour. My time is limited. So thank you for everybody. I've got to go study. I've got a state exam. I've got to go train 2 clients. And I will do my best to try to be on 3 to 4 times a week, maybe more often if my schedule allows it. Guys, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate every one of you, and God bless. Thank you so much. Yeah, hey, you got to take care of business, right? God bless you all, guys.